All right, welcome back to Jammin' Sports, everybody, as we're going to be continuing with our Major League Baseball sim season. We're going to go to the next game on the schedule, and that's going to be between the Florida Marlins and the San Diego Padres, as it's the National League Division Series game number 3. This series is tied at 1 game apiece. I'm going to go ahead and do the announcing on this game. I let the computer do it on the last game, but I'm going to go ahead and step in and do it this time. I kind of had a couple of false starts here, but we're ready to go. All right. As we look at the screen over here on the right side, the other division series, Arizona leads the Dodgers 2-0, and the Marlins and the Padres are tied at 1 game apiece. If you missed the earlier game, the Yankees held on to beat the Astros by a score of 5-4. The Yankees take a 2-0 lead in that best-of-5 series. All right. So let's head out to San Diego, California for this one. It'll be the Florida Marlins and the San Diego Padres here at Jammin' Sports. Your lineups for today. Jammin' Sports presents Game 3 of the National League Division Series between the Florida Marlins and the San Diego Padres. Live from Petco Park in San Diego, California. The series is tied at 1 game apiece. National League Division Series Game 3 up next here at Jammin' Sports. All right, welcome on in. We go to the top of the first inning. Eric Show will be the starting pitcher for the Padres here this afternoon. I sat out the last game. I'm going to go ahead and do this game. We have NFL football later on. Rap Dixon will lead things off for the Marlins, the right fielder. As the series is tied at 1 game apiece. Padres 1 game 1, the Marlins 1 game 2. Both those games were in Miami. We now shift to San Diego. Here's the first pitch by Show, and it's fouled off, and the count goes to 0-1. Welcome on in on this Tuesday afternoon. I'm off work today, so I'm able to be on Jammin' Sports this afternoon. Next pitch, fouled off again. Count goes to 0-2 to Rap Dixon. I think Sports Davis is with us. He watched the Yankees defeat the Astros the last game. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Popped up in the air, but out of play. Count remains 0-2 to Dixon. And now the pitch by Show. Outside. Count goes to 1-2. And now the 1-2 pitch. Popped up in the air, but it's going to be out of play over the Padre dugout. And the count remains at 1-2. One-two pitch. Big swing and a strikeout. Dixon goes down swinging for out number 1. 1 down for the Marlins here in the top of the first. Nice pitch by Show. Caught him on a breaking ball. We have NFL football coming up later today. It'll be at 6:30 Eastern time. Edgar Renteria up next. He's the third baseman.
That's the ball.
Up high, ball 1. Count goes to 1-0.
1-0.
Top of the first, no score. 1 out, bases empty for the Marlins. And now the 1-0 pitch. In there for a strike. Evens the count at 1-1. One pitch. Ripped into left field. It'll be a base hit. A 1-out single for Renteria. And the Marlins get their first base runner of the day. A 1-out single. And now John Beckwith will come up. He's the first baseman. Pitch by Show. Up high, 1-0. Renteria at first base. 1 out. Counts 1-0 to Beckwith. Davis with us. I'm announcing this one, Davis. Here's the 1-0. And that's hit high in the air out to right field. Winfield goes back and makes the play for out number 2. So Beckwith will fly out to right. Dave Winfield running it down. And now Heavy Johnson, the catcher, will come up. Marlins have a lot of Negro League players on their team. All the Negro League players that are on the show roster have been put on the Major League teams. The Marlins have a lot.
He's in there.
Renteria slides in. They try to pick him off at first. 2 outs. Runner on first. Heavy Johnson at the plate. Here's the pitch. In there for a strike, 0-1. The Diamondbacks have a lot of Negro League players also. And a vast majority of them are very good. Counts 0-1 to Johnson. Here's the pitch. Down low, 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, runner on first. That's Renteria. Johnson at the plate. Pitch by Show. And it's going to be outside. Count goes to 2-1. Jimmy Jan with Sports Davis here with you on this Monday afternoon. Great to have you along. Tuesday afternoon, I'm sorry. That was a day off. Here's the 2-1.
Ball outside.
Ball outside. Count goes to 3-1 to Heavy Johnson. Show trying to get out of the inning without giving up a run. 2 outs, runner on first. In there for a strike. Full count now to Johnson at 3-2. 3-2 pitch. And that's fouled off down the third base line. Count remains at 3-2. Three-two pitch. Hit high in the air, out to left. Going back, and that one's not playable. A 2-run shot by Heavy Johnson. And the Marlins take a 2-0 lead here on the top of the first. A 2-run blast over the left field wall for the catcher, Heavy Johnson. Marlins off to a good start there, Davis. That scores Renteria, who's at first base. Another look at it. You saw Madden 26 trailer. It's not much of a trailer. Howard Easterling up next. And Easterling is the center fielder. Takes the first pitch for a strike. Count goes to 0-1. 2-0 Marlins here on the top of the first. Can you take care of that for me there, Davis? Fouls that one off. Count goes to 0-2. Can you take care of that suspicious user for me? Here's the 0-2.
Ball, that's
Up high, 1-2. It's all right. I got it. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Oh, it hit him.
Batter, take your
It'll be a walk. I'll get rid of this guy. And now Vic Harris comes up, the left fielder. They throw back to first. Easterling's back in time. I'll ban this guy. Next pitch in there for a strike. Count goes to 0-1 to Vic Harris, the left fielder. Easterling's at first base. He was hit by a pitch. 2 outs, runner on first for the Marlins. Here in the top of the first, they lead it 2-0. The pitch outside, a pitch out. He doesn't take the bait. And the count goes to 1-1 on Vic Harris. One pitch. There goes the runner. And Easterling is going to be safe at second base. So the Marlins off to an aggressive start in this one here in the top of the first. And now with the runner on second with 2 outs. The count is 2-1 to Harris. The pitch by Show.
That's the ball.
Inside, 3-1. The Marlins have jumped out to a 2-0 lead here in Game 3. The series is tied at 1 game apiece. 3-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Full count now to Harris. Count. 3-2 pitch. Popped it up, out of play. Count remains at 3-2. And now the 3-2 pitch. And that's fouled off again. Harris stays alive at the plate with a 3-2 count. Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Swung and struck him out. However, Heavy Johnson, a 2-run home run, gives the Marlins a 2-0 lead after a half inning. National League Division Series Game 3 here at Jammin' Sports. We go to the bottom of the first inning. Merrick Manerick on the mound for the Marlins. There's a name. Merrick Manerick. Starting pitcher for the Florida Marlins here this afternoon. Fernando Tatis, the shortstop, will lead things off for the Padres. Here in the bottom of the first, trailing 2-0. First pitch by Manerick, and that's ripped, knocked down by the shortstop, and it's going to be a base hit. Hanley Ramirez made a nice play to keep that ball from going into the outfield. It'll be a base hit. So the Padres have a runner aboard with nobody out, as Tatis is on first. Benito Santiago is up next. He's the third baseman. Here's the pitch. Big swing and a miss. Strike one. Count goes to 0-1. So the Padres have a runner aboard here in the bottom of the first inning, trailing 2-0. Here's the pitch by Manerick. In there for a strike. Count goes to 0-2. Oh-2 pitch. Fouls it off. Count remains at 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Outside, 1-2. Tatis is at first base for the Padres with nobody out here in the bottom of the first. Santiago, the 1-2 pitch. He swung at a bad pitch and struck out for out number 1. One down for the Padres
The first baseman, Salvador.
here in the bottom of the first. Nice slider by Manerick. Next up, Sadaharu Oh, the first baseman, the Japanese import. One out, runner on first. And that's a high fly ball down the first baseline, foul. Count goes to 0-1 to Sadaharu Oh. Manerick looks in. 0-1 pitch. A pitch out. But Tatis stays at first base. Named your fish after you. Your fish is named O. All right. Counts 1-1 to O. Pitch by Manerick. Up high, 2-1. The series is tied at 1 game apiece. Here's the 2-1. And that's ripped foul down the first base line. And the count goes to 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 1 out, runner on first. That's Tatis. Here's the pitch. Up high, full count, 3-2. This is George Scales, or Sadaharu Oh. Scales is on deck. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Swung and struck him out for out number 2. Oh goes down swinging.
Batting fourth, the second baseman.
And now George Scales, the second baseman, comes up.
Ball.
Kind of put him off the plate there. Inside, count goes to 1-0. Tatis is at first base with 2 outs. Marlins up 2-0 here in the bottom of the first inning. The 1-0 pitch in there for a strike. 1-1. Throw to first. Tatis is back in time. Counts at 1-1. 1-1 pitch. Down low, 2-1. 2 balls and a strike to George Scales. 2-1 pitch. In there for a strike. They'll even the count at 2-2. A beautiful afternoon here in San Diego for Game 3 of this series. Here's the pitch. Ripped foul towards the Padre dugout down the first base line. Count remains at 2-2. 2-2 pitch. And that's foul down the line. Count remains at 2-2. Two-two pitch. Struck him out at the end of the inning. After 1 complete, Marlins lead at 2-0 here at Jammin' Sports.
Leading off for the Marlins, the second baseman, Lorenzo Davis.
All right, we go to the top of the second inning. Piper Davis will lead things off for the Marlins as he pops that one up. Davis, the second baseman. Marlins up 2-0. Here's the 0-1 pitch. And that's ripped foul down the first baseline. And the count quickly 0-2 to Davis. 0-2 pitch. Down low. 1-2. 1-2 by Show. Inside. They'll leave in the count at 2-2. 2-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. And Piper Davis goes down swinging for out number 1. 3 strikeouts on the game so far for Show. Next up, Jazz Chisholm Jr.
No ball, 1 strike.
Takes the first pitch for a strike. Count goes to 0-1. Trying to figure out where he's playing in the lineup. Here's the pitch.
That's the ball down.
It's a ball down low. 1-1. He might be the DH today or playing center field. We'll figure it out.
Ball.
I think he's the
2
DH.
balls, 1 strike.
Count goes to 2-1 to Chisholm. 2-1 pitch.
Ah!
Big swing and a miss.
2-2
Count goes to
count.
2-2. 2-2 pitch. Inside, full count at 3-2. 3-2 pitch. That's ripped in. Oh, it's nicely fielded by George Scales at second, robbing him of a base hit. 2 down for the Marlins. And now Hanley Ramirez will come up. He's the shortstop. Two outs, bases empty.
Hee-haw.
In there for a strike. Count goes to 0-1. Marlins lead it 2-0 here in the top of the second. 0-1 pitch.
Ball.
Outside, 1-1. And now the 1-1 pitch. Hit high in the air. Third baseman come running in. Who wants to take it? Benito Santiago makes the put out, and that'll end the inning. At the end of 1.5, the Marlins lead it 2-0. Game 3 of the NLDS here at Jammin' Sports. We go to the bottom of the second. Luke Easter, the catcher, will lead things off for San Diego. Padres lead it 2-0. Series tied at 1 game apiece. Here's the pitch by Manerick.
Ball.
Inside, 1-0. And now the 1-0 pitch. In there for a strike, knee high. That'll even the count at 1-1. Merrick Manerick is the starting pitcher for the Marlins. Luke Easter, the catcher, at the plate. Here's the 1-1. In tight, he swung at it, fouled it off, and the count goes to 1-2. Here at Petco Park in San Diego. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Up high, 2-2. Two-two pitch. And that gets fouled off. Easter stays alive at the plate with a 2-2 count. And now the 2-2 pitch. Down low, 3-2, full count. Luke Easter with a full count at 3-2 with nobody out. 3-2 pitch. And that's ripped right to first. He'll take it himself and hits the bag for the out. Play made by the first baseman, John Beckwith. Puts the put out himself for the Marlins. 1 down for the Padres. Luke Easter grounds out to first. Now Phil Nevin comes up next. He's the left fielder. 1 out, bases empty. Down low, ball 1. Count goes to 1-0. 1-0 pitch. Outside, 2-0. 2-0 pitch to Nevin. Outside again, 3-0. Merrick Manerick better throw a strike here. Here's the 3-0. Right down the middle, 3-1. 1 out, bases empty. 3-1 pitch. And that gets fouled off. We have a full count now at 3-2. It goes from 3-0 to 3-2 on Phil Nevin. 3-2 pitch. Up high, ball 4. There'll be a 1 out walk for Phil Nevin. Next up, Adrian Gonzalez. And he is the DH today. for the Padres. One out, runner on first. Manerick, here's the pitch.
Ball.
Outside, ball one. Count goes to 1-0. Game 3 of the NLDS. Series is tied at 1 game apiece. 1-0 pitch. There goes the runner. And they got him. Nice throw by Heavy Johnson, the catcher, to get the runner out. Nevin gets thrown out at second base for the Padres. And now there's 2 away for San Diego. Base is empty. The count's 1-1 to Gonzalez. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Outside, 2-1.
2-1.
And now the 2-1 pitch.
Nope. Ball.
Up high. Count goes to 3-1. Jimmy Jam with Sports Davis with you on this Tuesday afternoon. Here's the 3-1. Up high, ball 4. It'll be a 2-out walk for Adrian Gonzalez. That'll keep the inning going for the Padres. Right fielder Dave Winfield comes up. The pitch in there for a strike, 0-1. We know Winfield can hit them out of here. Counts at 0-1. 0-1 pitch. There goes the runner, Gonzalez. And he's safe. Stolen base for Adrian Gonzalez. And now the Padres have a runner on second with 2 outs. He got a pretty good jump. The count's 0-2 to Winfield. Here's the pitch. Struck him out to end the inning. At the end of 2 complete, the Marlins lead it 2-0 over the Padres. National League Division Series game number 3 here at Jammin' Sports. And welcome back to Petco Park, San Diego, California. Rap Dixon will lead things off for the Marlins here in the top of the 3rd. He's the right fielder. He's the leadoff batter. Eric Show still on the mound. First pitch is a ball inside, 1-0. And now the 1-0 pitch. In there for a strike. They'll even the count at 1-1.
1-1.
1-1 pitch. Fouled off down the first base line. And the count goes to 1-2 to Dixon. The 1-2 pitch. High fly ball out to right field. Winfield goes over and can't get to it. It's off the wall. It'll be a base hit. They got him. They got him at second. Dixon tried to stretch it out to a double. Nice throw by Dave Winfield. And they get Dixon out at second. 1 down for the Marlins. Edgar Renteria comes up next. First pitch in there for a strike. He's the third baseman. Great play by Dave Winfield, playing the ball off the wall in right field. Counts 0-1 to Renteria. 0-1 pitch. Down low, 1-1. And now the 1-1 pitch. Pops it up out of play. Count goes to 1-2. Sports Davis is happy. His Yankees won in the game before this. They take a 2-0 lead in their series with the Astros. Next pitch. Struck him out. Renteria goes down swinging. 2 down for the Marlins here in the top of the 3rd inning. John Beckwith, the first baseman, will come up now. With 2 outs, base is empty. Pitch by Show. Fouls that one off. Count goes to 0-1. 0-1 pitch. That's fouled off again. Count quickly, 0-2 to Beckwith. There's a little bit of clouds here in San Diego. Here's the pitch. Fouled it off. Every now and then it's bright sunshine and then a cloud passes over. We'll call it partly cloudy. Here's the 0-2. Up high. That'll even the count at 2-2 to Beckwith. 2-2 pitch. Or 1-2 pitch. Struck him out at the end of 2.5. Marlins lead at 2-0 over the Padres. Game 3 of the National League Division Series here at Jammin' Sports. Back here at Petco Park, Jackson Merrill will lead things off for the Padres, the center fielder. Here in the bottom of the third, trailing 2-0. Manerick still on the mound. His first pitch is a strike. Count goes to 0-1. 0-1 pitch. In there for a strike. Off-speed pitch, 0-2 the count. 0-2 pitch. Fouls that one off. Stays alive at 0-2. Jackson Merrill, he's the center fielder. 0-2 pitch. And that's fouled off down the first base line. Count remains at 0-2. Oh, 2 pitch. That was a sinker. Missed the strike zone. Count goes to 1-2. And now the 1-2 pitch. Struck him out looking for out number 1. Nice pitch by Manerick. Here's a StatCast look at the pitches for that batter. Next up, Fernando Tatis. He's the shortstop. Rips that one down the line, but foul. And the count goes to 0-1. One out, bases empty for the Padres here in the bottom of the third inning. Marlins lead at 2-0 on a 2-run home run by Heavy Johnson back in the first inning. Here's the pitch. Big swing and a miss, strike 2. And the count goes to 0-2. And now the 0-2 pitch. A ground ball. Beckwith will take it himself and touch the bag for out number 2. So Tatis grounds out to first. 2 down for the Padres here in the bottom of the third inning. And now Benito Santiago will come up. He's the third baseman. Here's the pitch. Fouls it off. Count goes to 0-1. Two outs, bases empty. The count's 0-1 to Santiago. Here's the 0-1. High in the air. Out to left. Making the play is Vic Harris for the third out. At the end of 3 complete, Marlins lead at 2-0. National League Division Series Game 3 here at Jammin' Sports. Back here at Petco Park, we go to the top of the 4th inning. Heavy Johnson, the catcher, comes up. He had a 2-run blast the last time he came up. Eric Show still on the mound. Here's the pitch.
1 ball, no strike.
Outside, count goes to 1-0. 1-0 pitch. And that's fouled off down the third base line. That'll even the count at 1-1. One pitch. Outside, 2-1. And now the 2-1. He swung on an inside pitch. That'll even the count at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And now the 2-2. A ground ball to second. George will throw to first. George Scales, the second baseman, making the play for the Padres. One down for the Marlins here in the top of the fourth. Howard Easterling will come up next for the Marlins, the center fielder. One out, base is empty. The pitch by Show, and that's fouled off down the first baseline. Counts at 0-1. 0-1 pitch. Inside, and it's fouled down the third baseline. So the count quickly 0-2 to Easterling. 0-2 pitch. In the dirt. Count goes to 1-2. 1-2 pitch. High in the air, over to first. Oh, gets under it. And will make the play for out number 2. Easterling pops out to first for the second out.
The left fielder, number 33, Vic Harris.
And now Vic Harris, the right fielder, will come up. I'm sorry, the left fielder. 2 outs, base is empty. And that's fouled off. And the count goes to 0-1. Game 3 of the National League Division Series, tied at 1 game apiece. 2-0 Marlins here in the top of the fourth. Harris fouls that one off. The count's quickly 0-2. And now the 0-2 pitch. And that's fouled off down the third baseline into the crowd. Count remains at 0-2. Oh, 0-2 pitch. Big swing and a strikeout, and that'll end the inning. At the end of 3.5, Marlins still lead it 2-0. NLDS Game 3 here at Jammin' Sports. Welcome back to Petco Park in San Diego. We go to the bottom of the fourth inning. Marlins up 2-0. Merrick Manerick on the mound for the Marlins. Sadahara O will lead things off for the Padres. Here in the bottom of the fourth, trailing 2-0. Here's the pitch.
No, that missed. That's a ball.
It'll be a ball. Count goes to 1-0. 1-0 pitch. Hit high in the air. Out to left field. Who's going to make the play? Center fielder calls everybody off. That's Howard Easterling. Makes the play. Or is it Chisholm? No, it's Easterling. Playing center field for out number 1. George Scales, the second baseman, will come up next. 1 out, base is empty here in the bottom of the fourth. The pitch. In there for a strike, 0-1. Jimmy Jam with Sports Davis here on this Tuesday afternoon. Great to have you along. Here's the pitch. Fouled off. And the count goes to 0-2 to George Scales. And now the 0-2 pitch. Outside, 1-2. One-two pitch. Big swing and a miss. Struck him out for out number 2. 6 strikeouts for Manerick so far in this game. We've got NFL football for you later at 6:30 Eastern time. About 2 hours from now. We'll have a triple header for you. Luke Easter, the catcher, comes up. The first pitch, a strike. Count goes to 0-1. It'll be the Eagles and the Redskins, the Ravens and the Lions, and the Dolphins and the Bears. That's what's up tonight. Here's the 0-1.
Ball.
Down low, ball 1. Count goes to 1-1. 2 outs, base is empty here in the bottom of the fourth. 1-1 pitch. On the outside. Crowd didn't like that one. Counts at 1-2 to Luke Easter. 1-2 pitch. Fouls that one off. Stays alive with a 1-2 count. now the 1-2 pitch. Down low. Evens the count at 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bases empty. 2-2 pitch.
Full count.
Outside, 3-2. Full count now to Easter. Three-two pitch. Struck him out, and that'll end the inning. At the end of 4 complete, Marlins lead at 2-0 here in Game 3 of the National League Division Series here at Jammin' Sports. Welcome back to Petco Park. Piper Davis, the second baseman, will lead things off for the Marlins in the top of the 5th. This game is just moving along. Eric Show still on the mound. The pitch up high, 1-0. The winner of this game will take a 2-1 lead in the series. The 1-0 pitch in there for a strike, 1-1.
1 ball, 1 strike.
1 ball, 1 strike. Nobody out, nobody on. We're in the top of the 5th. Marlins up 2-0. 1-1 pitch. And he fouls that one off, 1-2. Piper Davis, the second baseman for the Marlins. Here's the 1-2. And he fouls that one off. Count remains at 1-2. One-two pitch. Swung and an outside pitch. Struck out for out number 1. 1 down for the Marlins. Next up, the DH, Jazz Chisholm. 1 out, bases empty. Sometimes he's the center fielder. Here's the pitch. Swung at a bad pitch, fouled it off. Count goes to 0-1. Oh, 1 pitch. Fouls that one off. And he's down in the count 0-2 quickly. No balls, 2 strikes. 1 out, bases empty. The 0-2 pitch.
That's the ball.
Down low, count goes to 1-2.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Eric Show, the starting pitcher for the Padres, still on the mound here in the 5th inning. Counts at 1-2 to Chisholm. 1-2 pitch. Fouls that one off. Stays alive with a 1-2 count. And now the 1-2 pitch. He swung at an inside pitch and struck out. He swung at a bad pitch. 2 down for the Marlins here at the top of the 5th. Hanley Ramirez comes up next. He's the shortstop. Pitch by Show.
Nope,
Outside, 1-0.
Ball.
Got both teams in old school uniforms. They just look better than what they wear now. Here's the 1-0. Hit high in the air, out to center, and it's going to drop for a base hit. Center fielder Jackson Merrill couldn't get to it in time, and that'll be a 2-out single for Hanley Ramirez here in the top of the 5th.
Next for the Marlins, the right fielder, Rap Dixon.
And now the right fielder, Rap Dixon, comes up. We go to the top of the order. 2 outs, runner on first. In there for a strike, 0-1. Show looks in. The count's at 0-1. 0-1 pitch. In there for a strike, 0-2. Show trying to get out of the inning here. 2 outs, runner on first. Counts 0-2 to Dixon. 0-2 pitch. Ripped right to second base. Scales will throw to first for the out. And that'll end the inning. After 4.5, Marlins still lead at 2-0 here in Game 3 of the NLDS here at Jammin' Sports. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Phil Nevin will come up. He's the left fielder for the Padres. facing Merrick Manerick. Here's the pitch. In there for a strike, 0-1. Marlins scored 2 in the top of the first. That's all the scoring we've had. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Popped up. Beckwith at first will come over and make the play in foul territory. So Nevin pops out to first, 1 down. Here in the bottom of the 5th. Crowd here in San Diego getting a little bit restless. Padres no offense whatsoever. Adrian Gonzalez will come up next. And Gonzalez is the DH today. Here's the pitch. Down low, 1-0. One ball, no strikes. 1 out, bases empty. Here's the pitch. In there for a strike on the inside corner, 1-1. Crowd didn't like that. And now the 1-1. In there for a strike, a sinker. And the count's at 1-2. And now the 1-2 pitch. Fouls that one off, stays alive with the 1-2 count. Adrian Gonzalez. I want to see somebody hit one off the warehouse in left field. Here's the 1-2. Fouls that one off. Count remains at 1-2. One-two pitch. Fouls that one off. Stays alive at 1-2. One-two pitch. Fouls it off. Stays alive at 1-2. You can see it in the background there. The warehouse in left. Here's the 1-2. Struck him out for out number 2. As Gonzalez goes down swinging.
Number 33.
2 down for the Padres here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Dave Winfield, the right fielder, up next, facing Manerick. Inside, 1-0. One ball, no strikes, 2 outs, bases empty. And now the 1-0 pitch. In there for a strike, 1-1. One pitch. Rips it foul down the line. Count goes to 1-2. Manerick trying to retire the side. The 1-2 pitch. Swung at a bad pitch and struck him out. At the end of 5 complete. Marlins lead it 2-0 over the Padres. Game 3 of the NLDS here at Jammin' Sports. We go to the top of the 6th inning. Edgar Renteria, the shortstop, not the shortstop. He is the third baseman. Takes the first pitch for a strike. We got Williams and Bell warming up in the bullpen for the Padres. Counts at 0-1. Oh, 1 pitch. Hit high in the air out to right. Winfield going back. And Winfield makes the play for out number 1. So Renteria flies out to right. Next up, the first baseman, John Beckwith. 1 out, bases empty. Marlins still lead at 2-0. Facing Eric Show. Here's the pitch. That will bounce across the plate. Ball 1. Count goes to 1-0. 1-0 pitch. Ripped into right field. A base hit. A 1-out single for Beckwith. And the Marlins have a runner aboard here in the top of the 6th. Petco Park in San Diego is where we are. Back in the first inning, Heavy Johnson did this. A 2-run blast to give the Marlins the 2-0 lead they currently have. So Heavy Johnson comes back up. He's the catcher. 1 out, runner on first. Here's the pitch. Up high. And the count goes to 1-0. 1 ball, no strikes, 1 out, runner on first. Beckwith on first base. Here's the 1-0. And that's ripped foul down the line. And that'll even the count at 1-1. One pitch. Fouls that one off. Count goes to 1-2. We're in the top of the 6th. 1 out, runner on first. That's Beckwith. 1-2 pitch. Fouls that one off. Count remains at 1-2 to Heavy Johnson. One-two pitch. Big swing and struck him out for out number 2. 2 down for the Marlins here in the top of the 6th. He swung a bit too early. And now with 2 outs, Howard Easterling comes up next. He's the center fielder today. Beckwith at first. In there for a strike, 0-1. Marlins up 2-0 here in the top of the 6th. Counts at 0-1. The pitch outside.
1-1.
They try a pitch out. Beckwith stays at first base. The count goes to 1-1. One pitch.
Nope, that's in.
Inside, 2-1. Two balls and a strike. 2 outs, runner on first base. 2-1 pitch. Fouls it off. And the count goes to 2-2 to Howard Easterling. Two pitch. Ripped down the line, but foul down the first base line. Stays alive at the plate with a 2-2 count. Show looks in. The 2-2 pitch. Fouls that one off. Stays alive. Beckwith, your runner at first base still for the Marlins with 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. Now the 2-2 pitch. Inside, but it's foul. Kind of hit that one off the handle down the first base line. And the count's at 2-2. They throw to first. Beckwith back in time. Show trying to get out of the inning here. Here's the 2-2. Inside, full count, 3-2. I thought O was your hero. Oh well. Three balls, 2 strikes to Howard Easterling. Full count with 2 outs. 3-2 pitch. That one's ripped high in the air. Out to right field. And Nevin makes the play for the final out. At the end of 5.5, Marlins still lead at 2-0. NLDS Game 3 here at Jammin' Sports. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Center fielder Jackson Merrill will lead things off for the Padres. Merrick Minerick still on the mound for the Marlins. Here's the pitch. Inside, ball 1. Count goes to 1-0. Padres are still in it, only down 2-0. Next pitch, fouled off. That'll even the count at 1-1. One pitch. Fouls that one off. Count goes to 1-2 to Minerick. One-two pitch. Pops that one straight up in the air. Heavy Johnson will get under it. The catcher, and he'll record the out. So Merrill pops out to the catcher, 1 down. for the Padres here in the bottom of the 6th. Fernando Tatis up next for the Padres. He's the shortstop. Here's the pitch. In there for a strike, 0-1. And now the 0-1 pitch. In there for a strike, 0-2. And now the 0-2 pitch. Outside, 1-2. And 1 ball and 2 strikes to Fernando Tatis. 1-2 pitch. Inside, count evens up at 2-2. As the sun is back out, shining brightly. And now the 2-2 pitch. Rips that one foul. Count remains at 2-2. Manerick looks in, the 2-2 count. Ripped down the line. Foul again down the third base line. Count remains at 2-2 to Tatis. And now the 2-2 pitch. That's ripped down the first base line. Foul. Count remains at 2-2. Long at bat for Tatis. Ball. 2-2 pitch is low. Full count now, 3-2. One out, base is empty. 3-2 pitch. Fouls that one off. Stays alive with a 3-2 count. Three-two pitch. Fouls that one off. Stays alive with a 3-2 pitch. Or 3-2 count. Here's the 3-2. Fouls that one off. Stays alive at 3-2. Three-two pitch again. Struck him out swinging for out number 2. 2 down for the Padres. Here in the bottom of the 6th.
Now batting.
Benito Santiago will come up next. The third baseman. 2 outs, base is empty. The pitch. In there for a strike, 0-1. Oh, 1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Count goes to 0-2.
0-2.
And now the 0-2 pitch. Ripped the third. Picking it up for the Marlins is Renteria, who records the out. At the end of 6 complete, Marlins still lead at 2-0. Game 3 of the NLDS here at Jammin' Sports. We go to the top of the 7th. Mark Davis will come in to pitch for the Padres. Marlins still lead at 2-0 as we go to the top of the 7th. Vic Harris will come up. And Vic is the left fielder. The pitch by Davis gets fouled off. And the count goes to 0-1. 0-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Strike 2. And the count's at 0-2. 0-2 pitch.
Ball inside.
It's going to be just a little bit low. Count goes to 1-2 to Harris. 1-2 pitch.
That's in. Ball.
Inside, 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out, nobody on. 2-2 pitch.
Count.
Down low, 3-2. Full count to Vic Harris. Three-two pitch. That one's ripped out to center field. Merrill going over. And Merrill will make the play for the out. So Vic Harris flies out to center. One down for the Marlins here in the top of the seventh.
Second baseman.
Piper Davis comes up next, the second baseman.
Davis.
One out, base is empty. So it's Davis against Davis.
No, that missed.
Outside, ball one. Count goes to 1-0. 1-0 pitch. Ripped high in the air, down the third base line, but hooking foul. And that'll even the count at 1-1. 1-1 pitch. Up high, 2-1. Two-one pitch.
Ball.
Outside, 3-1. Now the 3-1 pitch. And that one, I don't think is playable. That's going to be over the left field fence. A home run for Piper Davis. A solo shot. And that'll put the Marlins up 3-0 here in the top of the seventh. Let's watch this one again. Piper Davis connects and rips one out to left field. He got all of that one. And it's 3-0 Marlins. Jazz Chisholm, the DH, will come up next. One out, bases empty. It'll be a strike. Count goes to 0-1. Oh, 1 pitch. In there for a strike, 0-2. No balls, 2 strikes, 1 out, bases empty. Chisholm at the plate. Pitch by Davis.
1-2.
Outside, 1-2. And now the 1-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Struck him out for out number 2. 2 down for the Marlins here in the top of the seventh.
Number 5.
Hanley Ramirez will come up next. He's the shortstop. 2 outs, base is empty. Pitch by Davis. Up high. Count goes to 1-0.
1 ball, no strike.
And now Davis, the 1-0 pitch. Fouls that one off. Count goes to 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Nobody out, or excuse me, 2 outs, nobody on base. Here's the 1-1, and that's ripped down the third base line. Count goes to 1-2. Davis trying to retire the side. Here's the 1-2. Fouls that one off. Stays alive with a 1-2 count. And now Davis with the 1-2 pitch. Fouls that one off. Ramirez fouls that one off. The shortstop. 1-2 pitch. Fouls it off again. Stays alive with a 1-2 count. One-two pitch. Fouls it off. Count remains at 1-2. And now the 1-2 pitch. Swung, struck him out. They got to throw to first. And that makes it official. At the end of 6.5, Piper Davis, a solo shot, gives the Marlins a 3-0 lead here in Game 3 of the NLDS here at Jammin' Sports. Welcome back to Petco Park. We go to the bottom of the 7th in Game 3 of the NLDS. Sadahara O, the first baseman, will lead things off. Manerick still on the mound. Here's the pitch. In there for a strike, 0-1.
0-1.
Marlins up 3-0 here in Game 3. Trying to take a 2-1 lead in the series. Here's the 0-1. Inside. 1-1. Scott and Alfonseca warming up the bullpen for the Marlins. Counts 1-1 to 0. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Swung and a strike. Count goes to 1-2.
1-2. The count.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Nobody out, nobody on. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning. Here's the 1-2. Fouls that one off. Stays alive with a 1-2 count. And now the 1-2 pitch.
No, that's
Down low.
Ball.
They'll even the count at 2-2. 2-2 pitch.
3.
Swung and an outside pitch. Struck him out for out number 1. 11 strikeouts for Manerick on the day. He's having a big day. So far, shutting out the Padres here in Game 3. Next up, George Scales, the second baseman. 1 out, bases empty. In there for a strike, 0-1. No balls and a strike, 1 out. Here's the pitch by Manerick. Outside. Count goes to 1-1. 1-1 pitch. Hit high in the air. Out to right field, and that one is gone. A solo shot home run by George Scales over the right field fence. And the Marlins get on the board. I'm sorry, the Padres get on the board. Marlins now lead it 3-1. Padres trying to get back in the game. It's now a 2-run game. Let's watch this one again. George Scales, the second baseman, hits it to the opposite field, and it clears the fence. Now Luke Easter will come up. 3-1 Marlins. Fouls it off. Count goes to 0-1. 1 out, bases empty. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning. And now the 0-1 pitch.
Ball.
Outside, 1-1.
1-1.
1-1 pitch. Fouls that one off. Count goes to 1-2 to Luke Easter. He's the catcher. Manerick looks in. And now the 1-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. He'll strike out. That'll be out number 2. 2 down for the Padres here in the bottom of the 7th inning. This stadium is near the airport in San Diego. When you look out to the outfield, every now and then an airplane will land. Phil Nevin comes up next. He's the left fielder. First pitch outside, ball 1. Count goes to 1-0. One-0 pitch. In there for a strike, 1-1. And now the 1-1. That's ripped down the line, but hooking foul. Down the third base line. And the count goes to 1-2 to Phil Nevin with 2 outs. Manerick trying to get out of the inning. The 1-2 pitch. Down low. Evens the count at 1-1. Or 2-2. 2-2 pitch. That's high in the air. Out to left field. On his horse making the play is Vic Harris for the final out. George Scales They got him in the wrong uniform there. A solo shot for the Padres. The Marlins now lead at 3-1 as we go to the 8th in Game 3 of the NLDS here at Jammin' Sports.
Now pitching for the Padres.
We have a new pitcher. Woody Williams comes in for the Padres
Woody Williams.
to pitch in the 8th inning.
Leading off for the
Rap Dixon will lead things off.
right fielder,
He's the right fielder for the Marlins.
Dixon.
First pitch by Williams, and that's going to be a base hit into left center field. Merrill will throw it in. So it's a leadoff single for Rap Dixon here in the top of the 8th for the Florida Marlins.
Now batting, number 3.
Edgar Renteria, the third baseman, comes up next. Nobody out, runner on first. In there for a strike, 0-1. Rap Dixon at first. He's a threat to steal. They throw to first, and Dixon's back in time. Count remains at 0-1 to Renteria. 0-1 pitch. And that one's popped up. Easter looking like he wants to make a play on it. And he does for the out. So Renteria pops out to the catcher. One down for the Marlins here in the top of the 8th. They still have Rap Davis at first base. Rap Dixon at first base, excuse me. John Beckwith will come up, the first baseman, with one out. The pitch. Ripped to Scales. They're going to turn two. And the Padres get the double play, and that'll end the inning. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Marlins up 3-1 here at Jammin' Sports. National League Division Series Game 3. We have a new pitcher for the Marlins. Tanner Scott will come on.
Number 66, Tanner Scott.
We're in the bottom of the 8th inning. Marlins lead at 3-1 here in Game 3. The series is tied at 1 game apiece. Adrian Gonzalez will lead things off for the Padres. He's the DH today. Pitch by Scott.
That missed. That's a ball.
That's a low and a ball. Count goes to 1-0. 1-0 pitch. Big swing and a miss. They'll even the count at 1-1 to Gonzalez. One pitch. High in the air. Harris goes back, and Harris off the wall, can't make the play. And they'll hold Gonzalez to a double. That'll be a leadoff double for the Padres now, down by 2 runs, 3-1. And now the tying run comes to the plate. Harris couldn't quite get over there to make the play. Backing him up was Easterling, the center fielder, to throw the ball in. Dave Winfield, the right fielder, comes up next. Nobody out, runner on second. Winfield, high fly ball. And the second baseman, Piper Davis, will make the play for out number 1. One down for the Padres here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Meanwhile, Gonzalez stays at second base. Center fielder Jackson Merrill will come up next. Marlins up 3-1, but the tying run's at the plate. Here's the pitch. Down low, ball 1. Count goes to 1-0. The old split screen. Scott on the left, Merrill on the right. Counts at 1-0. Outside, 2-0. Two-0 pitch by Scott, and that's fouled off, and the count goes to 2-1. Padres trying to rally. Marlins trying to hold on. And that will be fouled off. by Merrill, and the count goes to 2-2. Gonzalez taking the lead at second base. 2-2 pitch. Swung on an inside pitch, fouled it off, and the count remains at 2-2. Two-two pitch. Swung and struck him out for out number 2. He rung him up. Jackson Merrill goes down swinging. And now Fernando Tatis, the shortstop, comes up with 2 outs with Gonzalez at second base. Marlins up 3-1. Pitch by Scott. High in the air down the third base line, but foul. And the count goes to 0-1. Oh, 0-1 pitch. A ground ball fielded by the third baseman Renteria for the out. At the end of 8 complete, Marlins lead it 3-1. NLDS Game 3 here at Jammin' Sports. We go to the top of the 9th inning.
The catcher, number
Marlins lead it. Marlins are up 3-1. And Heavy Johnson, the catcher, comes up first. Takes the first pitch for a ball. Woody Williams still on the mound. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Big swing and a miss. They'll even the count at 1 apiece. Marlins looking for some insurance runs. Here's the 1-1. Down low, 2-1.
2 balls, 1 strike.
Counts at 2-1 to Heavy Johnson. 2-1 pitch. Down low, 3-1. Three-one pitch. Oh boy, Johnson gets a hold of that one. Out to right field, and Winfield on the warning track makes the play. That was close to being out of here. 1 down for the Marlins in the top of the 9th. Nice play by Dave Winfield. And now Howard Easterling, the center fielder, will come up. 1 out, bases empty. Facing Williams. The pitch.
That missed. That's the ball.
Up high, ball 1. Count goes to 1-0. We're in the top of the 9th. 1-0 pitch. In there for a strike. They'll even the count at 1-1. 1-1 pitch. A ground ball. Oh, will take it himself for out number 2. So Easterling grounds out to first. 2 down for the Marlins. Here in the top of the 9th. Sadahara making the play. Vic Harris, the left fielder, will come up now with 2 outs. Bases empty. The pitch. And that's fouled off. Strike 1. And the count goes to 0-1. Oh, 1 pitch. That's fouled off. And the count goes to 0-2 to Vic Harris. Williams trying to make it a 1-2-3 inning. 0-2 pitch. Outside.
1-2.
Count goes to 1-2. One-two pitch. Ground ball to third. Gonzalez goes to first for the out. Actually, with Santiago making the play. And that'll retire the side. We go to the bottom of the 9th. Marlins lead at 3-1. NLDS Game 3 here at Jammin' Sports. Bob Neen comes in to try to shut down the Padres here in the bottom of the 9th. The Padres need 2 to tie, 3 to win. Benito Santiago, the third baseman, will come up. Facing Bob Nin. The pitch.
That's the ball.
Inside, ball 1. Count goes to 1-0. Can the Marlins hang on? Or can the Padres score 3 runs? The 1-0. Up high, 2-0.
That's the ball.
Two-0 pitch. ripped into right. That's going to be a fair ball into the corner. Santiago, a leadoff double to start the 9th inning for the Padres. That was a sing-eye double right there. And now the Padres have the tying run at the plate as Santiago gets a double to lead off the inning. Sadahara, the first baseman, comes up. Pops that one up. Beckwith in foul territory. Goes over and makes the play for out number 1. 1 down for the Padres as pops out to first here in the bottom of the 9th. So the Padres down to their final 2 outs with a runner on second base. Gonzalez at second. And now George Scales comes up, the second baseman. He hit a solo shot home run the last time he came up. Scales can tie the game up with another home run right here. Tying run at the plate. Here's the pitch. In there for a strike, 0-1. We're in the bottom of the 9th. Marlins lead it 3-1. The pitch by Nen. Popped up. Second baseman Piper Davis calls everybody off and makes the play for out number 2. Scales pops out to second, 2 down for the Padres. And now San Diego down to their final out here in the 9th inning. Luke Easter, he represents the tying run with 2 outs. If he can home run, he can tie this one up. Luke Easter at the plate with 2 outs. The pitch, fouled it off, strike 1. The count's 0-1 to Easter. Here's the pitch. Fouls that one off. Count goes to 0-2. We have NFL football coming up in about an hour and 15 minutes at 6:30 Eastern. We'll have a triple header for you. Struck him out, and that'll do it. The Marlins win it. They take game 3 by a score of 3-1 over the Padres. They take a 2-1 lead in the best of 5. Your final score, the Marlins 3, the Padres 1. And the Padres the Marlins take a commanding 2-1 lead in the series. Once again, your final score, the Marlins 3, the Padres 1. And the Florida Marlins take a 2-1 lead in the best of 5. Coming up at 6:30 Eastern, an NFL triple header. We'll see you then.
And remind you to please drive home safely.